My name is Asher, and this is Marty. He's my dog. Not like dog as in friend or person that I hang out with in a brotherly fashion, but an actual dog.
Asher and I have been in the band since when it was called Hydrogen Skyline. Along the way, we had people move in and move out.
I decided that I would like to be a part of Hydrogen Skyline because I essentially got to a point where I no longer wanted to just listen to something be created in my basement and not have any part in it. I wanted to see if I could add anything. This is the first band that I've ever been in.
Man, when I first heard them, I was a little shocked that they asked me to audition. We played a show. I was in a band at the time, and we played a show with them. But I didn't even remember, like until I talked to them at another show, and it was like, oh yeah, you want to do this? It was really flattering actually, man. Like being able to come into a project and replace a couple of people and just work with a pre-existing band. I mean, that's always a nerve-wracking experience.
I don't know if it's necessarily being in Hydrogen Skyline or being in the music scene, but it's been a lot of learning about myself and learning how to present myself in a way that is respectful, yet still entertaining.
As far as like playing shows and being in front of people, it's really fun when you're getting to the point where you're getting people off their feet and they're enjoying what you're doing and they actually are seeing you as more of an entertainer than just some guy that's on the street that just decides to come in and play his instrument. So, all in all, I think it's a pretty fun experience.
It's a challenge. I think it's a challenge to work with other people, that you haven't maybe grown up with your whole life. Like I'm in other bands, I play with other people. I do plenty of different things. It's just, as a musician, I think it's cool to put yourself out there and just see if you can do it. And if you can't, that's the challenge that you have to overcome.
When I was 20 years old, I swore at the point of being 27 years old that if I was not big, I would give up on music. Obviously 27 came. I did not have the level of success I expected, but at the same time I picked up so much more knowledge along the way, and success was a lot different to me from when I was 20 years old. And I realized mainly playing music or being in a band, whether it's big or not, is more about your love for it.
It's been really rough. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, quite literally. But I think at this point right now, it's quite enjoyable. We finally essentially figured out how to be in a band with each other.
Man, I'll tell you, this has been a challenge for a little bit. It was just really like trying to fit some of the song structure together because, being somebody that's new to the band coming in, and you bring your feeling and your emotion to it, and so it's not going to be the same as the previous guys. And sometimes when you join a band like that, the preconceived notion is, hey, we'll play like that guy, and then the next challenge is, okay, well, how do we make it better?
Really, it's a battle of longevity. You start out in a band and you think, hey, we're gonna play 5 shows and all of a sudden we're gonna put out an album and then record companies are gonna come knocking at our door. And that's never the reality. It is actually a negative connotation where people are like, yeah, you're an indie aspiring musician. But the truth of the matter is that, as much as people look down their noses at you, at some point you have to enjoy your life for what it is.
It's not easy to be in a band and maintain a relationship at the same time. It's had a history of a lot of fights caused, but it's a way to see a side of the other person that you wouldn't normally see. I'm in a band with someone I'm married to. I'm perfectly happy with that.
I like that we are all on the same page at this point. We are all it's very easy to have this, these kinds of conversations. No one gets hurt feelings, no one gets upset. which is, for starters, that's a huge thing to find. I think we're moving in the right direction. I don't think it's perfect.
Independent of anything, whether it's independent films, independent music, independent street artists, everybody has something to offer the world, and our culture would suck if everything was corporatized. So just be happy you have people that are the bottom feeders and they're super good at what they do, because if they didn't, you'd have no diversity at all except for corporatized art and entertainment.
I'm not in the band for making money. I'm not in the band to be a sensation. And although that would be really amazing, I took on the project essentially to learn about myself, have an outlet, and I didn't really know how to do that when I first started being in the band. So the further along that we go in this project, the more I learn how to say what I need to say and convey it in an entertaining way that still expresses myself.
Like anything that we write, we all add a little bit of flavor to it. So no matter what, it's not really you wrote it at the end of the day. You know, it's like you came with an idea and then everybody else put their idea in it, and then everybody agreed that that was a good way to go. And then now you have a song.
To actually complete a project and have it capable of putting it out to the world, it's like weights just sliding off your shoulders, because it's like all this pent-up creativity, all this pent-up work, all this time you've invested finally has seen the light of day. And usually you get to a point where you're like, I don't even care if people like this, because I'm glad it's done and I love that I did it. And I may not love it in 10 years, but I'm glad it's finished. I feel that with all the stuff I put out, is that I'm just so elated it's done. And I remember the exact days of every time we finish something. And it's just like the best feeling in the world.
Man, for me, I would just love to, you know, just tour, play shows, meet people. I'm game for anything that involves me playing guitar, so I'm kind of just like, it may sound like a short-term thing, you know, but it's not. It's just, I could just see this going on for as long as we want it to, you know, just having fun.
It's very strange to feel like you have made an impact on somebody without directly knowing them. Like, how do you do that? How can you not know somebody and change their life? How can you not know somebody and bring them out of a certain frame of mind? I don't know, but apparently music can do that, and it's incredible. Knowing that you're the one doing that is weird. It's a blessing, and it's an incredible feeling, although it's strange to, I guess, accept that you've done a good thing by somebody intending to. Sorry.
You're fine. How did he know? I didn't hear anything.
He's a dog. He can hear things.
Hi. Good. What's going on here?
Shh.